Welcome to Inside Arvada, the City of Arvada's podcast, where we bring you conversations with the people who make Arvada a thriving community. Hear stories about the past, present, and future of Arvada through the lens of the city team members who help make it all happen. Explore the complex topics impacting our community. From the roads you drive, to the water you drink, the parks where you play, to what your neighbors think. Join us as we take you inside Arvada.
Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Inside Arvada, the official podcast of the City of Arvada. I'm Sean Starr, one of your hosts, and so glad that you're tuning in to today's episode. We've got a special edition of the podcast today in honor of Park and Recreation Month. So on July 1st, the Arvada City Council signed a proclamation to officially designate July as Park and Recreation Month in Arvada. And Park and Rec Month is celebrated each July throughout the country. It's led by the National Recreation and Parks Association as a way to promote the power of parks and recreation, as well as recognizing the incredibly important work our park and recreation professionals do for communities like ours to keep our park and recreation amenities safe and enjoyable for everyone to enjoy. In fact, on July 19th, you can celebrate Park and Recreation Professionals Day, and we'll have a video out on our social media channels highlighting the work of one of our athletic field maintenance staff members, Sam Hoff, who works over at Lutz Sports Complex. So each year there's a different theme, and the theme of this year's celebration is Where You Belong. And that celebrates the ways parks foster a sense of belonging by providing welcoming and inclusive programs for people of all ages and abilities, as well as safe and accessible spaces to build meaningful connections. But rather us telling you why you feel like you belong in Arvada's parks, we wanted to go out to the community and have you tell us. So that means our guest today is you, the community member, specifically the variety of different folks that we spoke to at different parks around the city. It was a really fun project going around trying to find different park users at our different parks and just hearing from them how they enjoy our parks and why they feel like they belong there. And as always on the podcast today, I'm joined by my co-host, Katie Patterson. Hi, Katie. Before we turn it over to you, I'm going to go ahead and ask you, start the question off with you. Why do you feel like you belong in Arvada parks?
Yeah. Hey, Sean. I'm super excited for today's episode. So, like our listeners who have been around for maybe our first few episodes now know I've talked about my dog a couple of times. And so I'm a dog walker, dog runner. And parks can be a really great place for us to take a stop, take a breath, and have that green space, a little bit more shade often, particularly in the summer, in the heat of summer. And so it's a good place for us to take a little break and really feel like me and my dog can hang out for a second. And I really also just love the diversity of the types of parks that we have. And we talked about this a little bit with Darren when he was on a couple weeks ago. You can kind of choose your own adventure, right? Is it a basic grassy field where we can take a picnic and just hang out on a summer evening, visiting a stream or a lake like at Lake Arbor, or tons of our parks are right along Ralston Creek. And that just gives you like a variety of ways to interact with nature. And then, of course, there's tons of cool amenities of all types, from skate park, disc golf, playgrounds. And so I love that about it. Does give that feeling that anybody can belong. And then it was really cool to get to hear from folks who kind of talk about this diversity and to dig into how different folks kind of experience parks for different reasons. And so I'm really excited that we got to you all got to go out with our media team and hear from folks directly. I wasn't able to go out with you, but I'm excited to be able to kind of listen to them now. I got to preview them and share this with our listeners.
Yeah, we ask every guest that comes on, what's the favorite project you've done with the city? And this, for me, might be up there. A lot of times we kind of get used to being in our office all day and kind of a little bit detached from the community that we serve. So to be able to kind of go out there and interact with them in person, face to face, was very cool and rewarding. And I hope everyone listening gets to enjoy these interviews here in a bit. But before we get to the interviews, I wanted to share just a few facts about our parks and trail system, because we do have a just robust and really unparalleled system of parks and trails and open space. And so we're home to more than 100 neighborhood, community, and regional parks. And as Katie mentioned, we've got parks of all different shapes and sizes, from your kind of neighborhood little pocket parks with maybe just like a playground to really your bigger, larger ones like Ralston Central Park, the splash pad there, or the reservoir over at Arvada Blund Reservoir on the west side of town. We have 150 miles of trails. That includes our primary trails like Ralston Central, Little Dry, and Van Bibber. We have several local trails, and those connect really kind of more in your neighborhoods. They'll connect one park to another, such as Discovery Trail or Yankee Doodle. And then we also have a few regional trails like the Rocky Mountain Greenway Trail, and that's more obviously regional nature, connecting several different cities together, and one of them, passing through Arvada. We have 3,200 acres of open space, and so that's our unirrigated, more natural areas of the city. One that I always think of first is Patridge Open Space there off West 82nd Avenue. And then, of course, we have tons of different amenities, everything from boating and fishing to dog parks and disc golf courses, and, of course, playgrounds and athletic fields. For more on how to celebrate Park and Recreation Month, you can go to arvadaco.gov/parks, and on that page we've got a list of all our parks and maps and amenities, and then we also have a page dedicated specifically to Park and Recreation Month. So you can go to arvadaco.gov/parks month, and on that page you'll find 31 ways you can celebrate 31 days of park and recreation. All right, so let's get to you, the community member we talked to. And so we tried to group these in a few different sections so that we don't go through them all together at once, so that we can provide a little context. And first up, we went out to Arvada Blund Reservoir, and we talked to Dave and his grandson Hudson, who are out there fishing. And then we also talked to Jeffrey, who is at Ralston Central Park with his daughter and grandchildren. So let's listen to those right now.
We're at Arvada Reservoir. My name's Dave. And taking my grandson, teaching him fishing for the last couple of years. He really enjoys it. Well, it's very relaxing, and like I said, it's good. You kind of bond with your grandkids. You have a granddaughter as well that comes out. She likes to do the bait fishing more. And just a different venue for everyone to kind of bond, and they can picnic. And the rangers, we met a couple of the rangers real nice. They always come down and talk to us.
My name is Hudson, and we're in Lake as a Reservoir fishing.
And how often do you come out here and fish?
Probably like 1 week to 2 weeks. I don't know.
And how many fish have you caught from this reservoir here at Arvada Blund Reservoir?
23.
23. Wow. What's the biggest fish you've ever caught here?
13 inches. It was a rainbow trout.
13-inch rainbow trout. Wow. So just how do you feel when you're out here at the reservoir fishing with Grandpa?
Happy.
If you had any advice on how to catch fish, what would it be? Because it sounds like you got the hang of it.
Patience.
Awesome, Hudson. Thank you so much. Good luck today.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Garcia. I'm here in Ralston Central Park. There's a beautiful day here. Kids are having fun. I have my grandkids down from Wyoming. They're enjoying, they're loving it. The parks are like more family orientated. They're beautiful, they're well kept. The trails are great for my running. I run every night. And it's just the direction they're going is perfect. Everything looks fine. I like to run. I live on right by Arvada West High School. I'll head down Sims and hit the Ralston Creek Trail right at the bottom of Sims and come through the trail all the way back to here. It's a nice, safe run. It's well lit. You don't have to worry about anything. It's nice to be able to run anywhere in Arvada on a trail, and you don't have to get out on the street. It's just a good community. It's a good atmosphere to raise a family in, and you can feel safe here.
Those were such awesome interviews with Dave and Hudson and Jeffrey. You really already get the sense of the different types of things that bring folks to our parks. And Dave and Jeffrey both talked about kind of how it helps their families bond. And I think that's such a special and free amenity that we have for our community members to be able to do something like that at no cost, right? And that's such a big deal for all of our families and all of our residents and community members. Also, Dave mentioned our rangers. Have to give them a shout out. All of our Arvada Blund Reservoir rangers are volunteers, and so that was a great shout out from him to talk about his interactions with them. And I would be remiss not to talk about how adorable Hudson was. That was so cute.
Yeah,
he did such a good job.
Some great advice there. Unfortunately, time that we were out there. Didn't see any bites, or they didn't catch any fish, but just really cool to see the multi-generational families there enjoying our parks. And like you said, small fee to go to Arvada Blunt Reservoir, but most everything else that in our city, parks wise, is free and open to the public. So
good point.
Yep.
Yeah. And that was a big fish that he caught. So our next set of interviews is with Lou playing disc golf at Johnny Roberts Disc Golf Course, which is at Memorial Park. And then Tom, he is a kids skateboard instructor, and they were at the Arvada Skate Park next to the Apex Center.
Hi, my name's Lou White. We're here at Johnny Roberts Memorial Disc Golf Course. I come here a lot. I enjoy this park because people make me feel at home, and I meet a lot of new friends. There's a lot of fun activities. I mainly like to play disc golf. People will call you over and learn your name, and they try to give you tips and help you out to learn the game. Being here makes me feel relaxed and a good sense of community. Everybody gets along real well.
Well, today we're here at Arvada Apex Rec Center Skate Park, one of the best skate parks in the Denver, Boulder area. My name is Tom Landis. We're here with Square State Skate doing summer camps with the kids today. If we see the kids learning something and having fun, then that makes us really happy. Sharing the joy of skateboarding, encouraging one another to try something new, always there to lend a hand of confidence, and emotional support. The things that make this skate park awesome is we have tons of different features. It's fairly large. This is an awesome facility with tons of different ramps, tons of different options. You got some smaller stuff for the beginners. You got some huge stuff for the advanced, even the professionals that come through town and get some grinds and slides on in here as well. We could all just be sitting on our couch at home right now, but when we get to come out to an awesome public space like this and make friends and share a laugh and make good memories, that's really key to me.
Yeah, Tom's got me fired up. He was great to talk to. We got lucky, we just dropped in on a random morning, and he was teaching that class, and so inspiring. I think he was having more fun than the kids he was teaching out there. Nice. He just super fun to talk to. And you think of skate parks, maybe a certain demographic or a certain type of person goes there, but not when we were there. There was all different ages, all different ability levels, and so
I might have to get out there. Right. I can't say I've ever really been on a skateboard or to a skate park. He could teach me.
Yeah, there you go. Just remember the elbow pads and knee pads and the helmet. And then Lou, we work right across the street there from the disc golf course, Johnny Roberts, which is, I think, number 2 in terms of the most played disc golf courses in the whole country. And seeing that course kind of every day on my drive in, you can understand why. As there's people out there enjoying that disc golf course 365 days a year, doesn't matter the weather. And the thing that really hit home with me to Lou is just that sense of community. Like, you could tell everyone kind of knew each other, maybe not super well, but enough since they kind of go there enough to say hi and just, building that sense of community. And because it is so busy, like, if you go there to play by yourself, you're most likely going to get grouped up with other people, and that's how you can just kind of meet other people and get that sense of community and sense of belonging.
Yeah, that's actually, I love playing disc golf. Not that good, but it's super fun. And that's a fun course because it is really tight, which is kind of different and can feel kind of challenging in its own way. But you get to meet everybody because there's always a little bit of that backup going on when it's busy. And so you always meet the people in front of you and behind you. And it's fun to get to hang out with the other folks sharing that sport. And he talked about the sense of community, which it totally does that.
Yeah, can't be like a free way to get outside and be a little active too. So super fun playing disc golf course. Sometimes if I get to work a little early, I'll go out and throw it around a little bit, maybe for a few holes. Next up, we have a few of our people who enjoy our parks just simply a lot like you do, Katie, just walking in our parks and our trails, a lot of times with dogs. And so first we went to Creekside Park there off the Ralston Creek Trail, more kind of on the eastern part of the Ralston Creek Trail. And we talked to Brenda, who was walking her dog. And then we made our way over to Tennyson Knolls Park, which is further, almost on all the way, furthest east side part of town. Really nice community park there, pretty large. And we talked to Patty and Anna at Tennyson Knolls Park. Patty was a very inspiring interview. Just, she used our parks as a way to just stay active and still up and at 'em, I think is what she said. And then Anna was walking her dog Bugatti there at the park. And then finally, we went to Majestic View Park to talk to Abraham, who was playing basketball there at Majestic View Park. And so let's listen to these interviews.
My name is Brenda Mueller. We're at Creekside Park in Arvada. I feel like I belong here because it's part of our neighborhood for us. We enjoy it. My dog walks here at least once, maybe twice a day. We walk the entire park. I have a good time when we're here. We meet people. It's a great place.
My name's Patty Solo. I'm at Tennyson Park. I've lived in Arvada for 21 years. And I've come to this park for 21 years, and they've maintained it, and it's beautiful, and it's quite big, and it's got lots of benches, so I can walk, I can sit. I'm still up, and I'm still at them, and this park helps me do that.
My name is Ana Piñon, and we're here at Tennyson, Knolls, and I feel like I belong here because it's a quiet and nice place, clean place. And my favorite thing to do and this park is for Bugatti, my dog, and nice place for walk, play, and the people is very nice.
Hi, my name's Abraham. We're here at Majestic View Park, and I like playing basketball. I like that it's so close because you can just walk here and have some fun. One thing I enjoy about the park is that like it's a free space. Like you can do anything: climb trees, play basketball, play on the playground. You have lots of shade where if it gets hot, you can just go sit in the shade. I feel happy. I feel like it's an exciting thing to do. Playing basketball and working on my skills for my team.
Those are, really great interviews with Brenda and Patty and Anna and Abraham. All of them really kind of got to what draws me to parks too and makes me feel like I belong in our parks. It's just like getting outside, being in nature, being able to be active, take care of our bodies, take care of ourselves, little wellness activities. And Abraham mentioned being able to take a break in the shade under a good tree. That's one of my favorite things. So those are some great interviews.
Yeah, Abraham, he's going to be quite the player when he gets a little bit older. I mean, I think he was only 10 years old, but you could already tell he's got a good jump shot there. But I love how, pretty serious basketball player, but then he's like, oh yeah, I also like to climb trees and just kind of hang out and be a kid at the park too. And so, there's nothing better than just, you don't have to be an elite athlete and a cyclist to enjoy our parks or a runner. It's just about taking a stroll and being outside and getting that fresh air.
Yeah, that last set really speaks to that kind of wide range of ways that people get involved in our parks. So last but certainly not least, this set of interviews, we heard from a lot of people throughout all of these about how parks have provide a sense of belonging. They bring people together. And this last set definitely hits on that as well. And so first we'll hear from Larkin at the Movies Around Town event that the city puts on. This one was at Homestead Park. And then from the Polar Bears. The Polar Bears are a group of pickleball players that go to Yankee Doodle Park. And they started doing this during COVID when it was safer to be outside together. And the group has grown since. They meet every day to play pickleball from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And when I say every day, I mean it. They call themselves the Polar Bears because they play 365 days a year. They are out there every single day, no matter the weather. So even in the freezing outside weather, they will be there. So let's take a listen.
So when did the Polar Bear Club start up? How long have you all been playing out here?
Well, COVID started it, so 2019, and we couldn't go indoors, so we said let's do it, come outdoors. And then there were some people that did it, and then I think Neil come up with the idea of the shirt. Yeah. And so we got sweatshirts, we've got hoodies, long sleeve shirts.
We have parties. We go to dinner together.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a real sense of community around this sport.
That's what pickleball is all about. It's more about the social aspect than it is.
Here's another
we
picture
don't even
for you.
know what the score is after we play.
Yeah, so
We have a call list that's about, there's 2 call lists, and there's probably about 18 to 20. And usually we get anywhere from 4 to 8, and then sometimes 12 come out. And we play what they call rally scoring, so it doesn't take too long to play.
Well, if you look down there, you see the paddles, the rack.
yeah.
Well, we made a rack so that anybody can show up, put your paddle in the rack,
Yeah.
and they can play with us. I mean, it's a city court. We can't
First
hog
come,
it.
first serve.
Yeah.
So we play a game and then we switch out. If you want to play with us, whoever you are, put your paddle in the rack and
So
jump
how
in.
many people
Absolutely.
do you think we've taught?
Taught?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Just showed up and we.
Well, my granddaughter's here, and she's going to play with me.
All right.
All right.
I
Quite
love
a
it.
few people.
A lot.
A lot of people. They've come by and want to play. Well, what's happened most of the time is we start with a smaller group, and then somebody brings a
Was that a
friend.
yawn or a...
Okay, we expand, and then somebody brings a friend.
Yeah.
So we just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I love it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
And then people walk by, you want to play? Yeah, and then they join us. Yeah.
My name is Larkin. We are at Homestead Park, and we are doing the first Movies Around Town of the summer watching Barbie. An event like this, it's nice to kind of kick off the weekend on a Friday night with a bunch of different residents coming together to watch a movie. So in this case, there's definitely community and good weather too, so it's nice to feel the breeze and the sunlight outside. I especially like the parks along Ralston Creek Trail. The whole time you run or walk along Ralston Creek Trail, there's just park after park with like play equipment or lakes, different things. So it's really fun to get out of the house, especially in the summer, and just go to those different parks and explore around Arvada. I like running around with my dog at the parks, like having my dog run between my husband and I. Yeah, just being outside. I think that's what we like.
All right, yeah. So that wraps up the portions of the interviews that we're going to share on the podcast. And shout out to the polar bears; they were just such a joy to get to know and talk with. And they mean it when they mean everyone is welcome to play. You kind of might get there and be like, "Oh no, is this court reserved?" But I kind of just wandered up, and even after talking with them, they wanted me to play. They asked if I wanted to play that day, or they said, come back anytime, any morning, and we'll be out here playing. And so it's just really cool to see how that group has grown, going back to COVID and how, inclusive they are to everyone joining it. They even convinced me to have a few brownies there at like 8 a.m. in the morning that they were, at first I was like, no, I'm okay. And then eventually I had one and then another one. And so I'm going to have to get out there one day and go mix it up with them.
Yeah, that they created the paddle system is super cool. That's such a great way to help people feel like included without having to kind of like stop your game or, it's a very approachable way for someone new to come in to join them. That was really cool.
Yeah. And just the nature of pickleball too, you're like so close, it's not like you're golfing where your other playing partners are all the way on the other side of the hole or something like that. It's just very conducive to that social aspect. And like, I think one of the gentlemen was saying, like, we don't even know the score half the time. And they play that rally scoring, so you don't have to be serving to get a point. So the games do move quick. So you kind of get in and out and you don't have to wait too long. And then, obviously pickleball, I feel like we mention it every episode now, but just a cool group to meet. And I think they said they've got shirts, they've got hats, I think earmuffs even. And
Whoa.
Yeah, they were out there one day when it was, I think we had that freeze. It was like below zero. So they went out there just to hit one ball and take a picture and then they were out. So they are dedicated. And then, shout out Larkin at the Movies Around Town event. That was our first one of the summer when we were showing Barbie at Homestead Park. We got a couple more that we'll mention here later in the summer. But what a great way to start your summer weekend, right? Going to a park on a Friday evening, listening to some live music, and then, catching a movie with some friends and family. So thank you so much to all the community members who were willing to talk to us on camera and share their stories about how they use our parks and what it means for them to belong in our parks. And so thank you again to everyone who participated. And now we'll move on to our news and notes segment of the episode. Continuing with the Park and Recreation Month theme, our partners at APEC Parks and Recreation District will also be participating in the month-long celebration. So be sure to visit their website, and we'll link in the show notes to some of the promotions and activities they have going on this month. And then coming up on Saturday, July 13th, is the city's annual craft beer and barbecue festival, Arvada on Tap. And that is put on in partnership with our community service partners. And so all the proceeds to that event go to help those community service partners that help put that event on. And tip is to buy your tickets ahead of time because you save $10 per ticket than if you were to buy it there at the door day of. And then, as I mentioned, Movies Around Town continues this month with a showing of Jaws at Lake Arbor Park on July 19th. And then I know, Katie, it looks like we've got some Garden in the Box kits available.
Yeah, so the city partners with Resource Central for a variety of outdoor water saving programs. One of those is Garden in the Box. And in the last couple of years, Resource Central has added a late summer Garden in the Box kit to their programming. And so those kits are on sale now, and then they're available for pickup in August and September. And as a partnership, the city does provide discounts on Garden in the Box, but those did sell out in the spring. They typically do. And so these are at the full cost of what Resource Central provides, but they're really a great way to do some late summer planting and get a head start on a garden for next year. There's a lot of benefits to the late summer planting. And then additionally, our final bulky item drop-off event of the year is coming up on August 10th, and that's from Saturday, August 10th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the NAC, the North Area Athletic Complex. And just as a reminder, June was the busiest and most successful bulky item drop-off event we've had to date. And so the team works really hard to move folks through as quickly as possible, but really be sure to plan ahead, plan for some extended wait times possibly, and some other things you should know before you go. Bring proof of residency. Be ready to unload your own items. Remember any branches and limbs need to be bundled. And there is a 5-item limit for what you can bring. And then make sure to check the list of accepted items beforehand, and we'll link to that webpage in our show notes for you. There is a list, and sometimes we do get folks who bring things we can't take. And so we'll have there are other places you can take some of those items that the event doesn't take that we can share, that are shared with folks on that page as well. So before we wrap up, I did want to mention we also got a really great listener question from one of our residents, Mark, about the water line work that is happening on 72nd. And he was just asking why that work was needed, kind of what was going on. And so I want to let folks know, first, if it's a city project, if it's large enough in scale or impact, often we have a project page about it on our website. And so all of our city-funded projects, so water lines, sewer lines, road construction, things like Ralston Road and West 72nd, all of those have project pages, and that's under a section called Public Improvement Projects. And so I'll link to that section of the webpage or of the website. And so this project specifically is a part of what's called our capital improvement projects. And specifically when it comes to our water, sewer, storm systems, these are typically projects related to our aging infrastructure. And that's the case here. A lot of these systems were built when Arvada really starts first growth boom, and that was really between the 50s and 80s. And so a lot of that infrastructure is reaching the end of its useful life, and it really just needs to be either substantially rehabilitated or fully replaced. And so that's what's happening with that water line project. And there are also several other areas that we'll see work this summer related to these water line replacements specifically. And so we'll link to that in the show notes. It's arvadaco.gov/water-lines. And so that has the list of all the areas that are going to see work. This was the 72nd work is the first work that's happening. There's one lane closed on eastbound 72nd, basically just east of Kipling to just about Majestic View Nature Center. And this year's projects, as well as projects that happen every year, really just identified the city's done a lot of long-range planning around our utility systems, and that's how these areas were identified, was just what's most critical need, kind of set a list of priorities and what can get done each year. And they do this type of work every year. This one just happens to be on a pretty busy road. So some of them are more in neighborhoods and things like that as well. So that was a lot of information for y'all.
Yeah, at least there's 2 lanes. You keep one lane open.
Yes,
I've passed by there pretty frequently, and it's pretty low impact, so you can keep the traffic moving and not too much of a major disruption. But
not as impactful as, widening a whole West 72nd that's happening just west of there.
Yeah.
So thanks again to everyone who listened in today. Our next episode, we are going to have Sean and I's boss, Rachel Kuroiwa, on. She is the Communications and Engagement Director. And we're going to talk with her about the city's 120th anniversary celebration. And so that's really going on now and all through the summer. And she'll tell us a little bit more about some of what's going on, some of the celebrations happening. And then don't forget, stay in touch with us. We shout out to Mark for reaching out with a really great question, and we really appreciate that. And so you can send us an email through podcast@arvada.org, and you can always visit us online at arvadaco.gov/podcast. We want to hear your questions. We want to know what topics you'd like to hear more about. And so thank you again for listening, and we really encourage you all to share this with a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, help us spread the word. We're excited to be doing this work and sharing information with folks, and we want to keep doing it. So don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show. And today's podcast was recorded and edited by Arvada Media Services, producers Steve Milkey and James Long.
And today's fun fact is 95% of residents live within a 10-minute walk of a park, and that's one of the highest rates of park access for a city our size in the entire country.
Whoa.